I have asked myself this question at least 1,000 times in my life. Why do stereotypes exist? And I've been on both sides of the conversation. On one side, I believe that, well, stereotypes exist because of bigotry, because of racism, because of racial superiority, right? These people feel better than those people, therefore they hold these ideas about the other group. Then I've also been on the other side, which is stereotypes exist because they're true. Now, I do believe that there can be a little bit of nuance in this conversation, but the older I get and the more I inform myself, frankly, the more honest I get with myself, the more I come to accept that stereotypes mostly exist because there's a basis for them. Now, sometimes it's the ideas that we are fed that came from others who had experiences in their own lives. And in many cases, it's because of our own firsthand experiences, right? So we may have the information, but once we see things happening in our environment, they start to, solidify those ideas, right? If you hear a message over and over again, you can come to believe it. But once you see it playing out and you see the pattern, it becomes solidified. And sometimes we can be dead ass wrong, but unfortunately or fortunately, pattern recognition is real. So that being said, I want to bring to your awareness just a few videos that essentially demonstrate this point a little further, right? Now we're going to get into 3 different situations or scenarios that I believe would inform why, let's say, these stereotypes of the ghetto black person exist. And why am I pointing to this specifically? Because this happens to be a conversation that we're finally able to have openly and honestly, one that we've been wanting to have, but have been too afraid for the last 10 years of this woke nonsense, at the very least the last 10 years, if not, since the 60s, right? So anyway, let's get into video 1. Now, the first thing y'all probably recognize was the full-blown big backetry that is taking place right here, right? Just a whole lot of big back behavior. But what you may not have noticed in the background there is a father and his son who happen to be quote unquote white, whatever the hell that means. And the father is kind of like basically enforcing or reinforcing to his son that, hey, you're okay. You're okay. He's protecting his son, for lack of a better term. And his son looks terrified. His son is in the corner there trying to protect himself. So dad is reaching across the table. It's okay. It's okay. Really, it's not okay, but because dad's here, you're okay. The little boy is in the corner terrified at what he is seeing. Now, does this young boy right here, does he have any sort of stereotypes in his head? Maybe. Maybe he's heard that this is how quote unquote black people can be, right? Or beware of certain people. But the likelihood is, nah. The likelihood is he is being told that, look, you can't judge people off the color of their skin. That's the likelihood. Now, some of y'all may believe this is BS and all white people teach their kids is, beware of those, but not in this day and age. This day and age, they actually been doing the opposite. One of the best quotes I've read in a long time is, in the last few decades, white people have been trying to teach their kids to be colorblind while everybody else is teaching their kids to see color. Deep. So we have the big backetry taking place. Now, why do I bring this up as a first example? Oh, and by the way, the dad and the son left. The dad got up, he got his son, and they got up out of there, which is smart. I would advise that for anybody who comes into proximity with this type of ghetto behavior. They're dangerous. They're dangerous people. And it's like stupid people. You know what I mean? Like people who smooth-brained individuals, stupid people, those who lack emotional intelligence or emotional regulation, emotional maturity, those are likely dangerous people. Get yourself away from them. Don't try to save. Don't try to jump in. These employees obviously have to do their job because this is their workplace, but get away from them if you can. But the reason I bring this up is because that young man right there has an opinion that is forming of who these people are. And it's very unfortunate for the rest of us, civilized folks who happen to be black, whatever that means, because this now becomes a real life situation, a very emotional, traumatic situation that he is now going to carry with him in his life. And can you blame him? Now, if he sees another situation, and now he's on the internet and that's how the stereotype becomes reinforced and it becomes a reality and a truth. It doesn't mean that every single one of us act this way, but you don't have the ability as a human to go throughout the world and to meet every single person, to get every single nuanced story, etc. You just see what is most represented. And when you have a culture that does not allow for calling this behavior out, but instead makes it okay, instead entertains it, the outcome of that is that you then have these stereotypes that are informing people's worldview. So that's the first out of the 3-part compilation. Now, next we have a little bit of a story time. This is a video I recently came across, as recent as this morning, and I thought, why not?
I just got my ass beat, can you see, for calling my downstairs neighbor ghetto. She almost took my life. She even put marks on my boyfriend's body. It took multiple people. Her girlfriend had a gun and threatened me with the gun. This is my eye. So she kicked the door down. The door is not shut completely now. I was standing in the bathroom. She started pulling my hair. When I tell you, she pulled out the biggest chunk of my hair. She dragged me by my hair on the deck, got a hold of me again, and kicked me. I have prints from her kicking me while I was down.
Yeah, so I had not seen the full extent of this video, but damn. Now, situation 2 here, right? This is an older young woman, I guess, oxymoron. And she has likely been informed as far as the stereotypes and things of that nature, right? Which could have saved her life, or at least could have saved her from getting into this situation. But unfortunately, she likely said to herself that surely, it is only my assumption that if I, let's say, call this behavior out, that it's not going to be displayed for exactly what I believed it to be. Like, imagine somebody saying, man, you're pretty insane. And then they drag you, they pull your hair out, and they put the Beats by Dre on you, right? Are they not confirming? You call somebody violent and they tear you up. Are they not confirming exactly what you believe them to be? Are they not confirming the stereotype that you had for them, right? The box that you had already put them in. Now, I love situations where people go in contrast or contradiction, and many of those situations do exist. But unfortunately, when this is not only allowed, but it is promoted and perpetuated. I mean, I did an entire video on why do black ghetto women love to fight so much. Is that a lie? Am I lying right now? Have you not seen countless of these situations? Do you not see this on daytime television? Where black women who used to be some of the most sophisticated, elegant, modest individuals, now there are more who are willing to throw hands, who are willing to fight. I'm talking about put the beats on somebody. Like two grown gorillas, 2 silverbacks, big body. 1 Sharquisha versus 100 men. That's what I'm talking about. The stereotypes exist for a reason, and sometimes they could save your life. Sometimes they could have spared you from this situation. Do not approach. Don't even call the police. Call 911 if you've got to deal with this type of person here. In some situations, I will confront somebody. Hey, can you please turn that down? We're all in this public transportation together. You don't need to have your phone on damn blast right now, for the sake of everybody. I'm that type of guy. Somebody throws a bottle on the ground. It happened yesterday. A kid. I say, hey, pick this up. Sorry. Yeah, we're not about to do that. Put that in a trash can. You know better, right? I've been in a situation where a kid was about to set a theater on fire. Can I say that? I guess because I'm not in the situation. So yeah, he was setting a flame in a theater. We're watching the Roblox, or is it Roblox? What's the damn movie? Minecraft movie. I see these kids in there. They bought a little, what you call it? A little Axe bottle. And I could smell fire and smoke. And, it's one of them 3D experience movies. My girl thought, oh, well, that's probably just, it's part of the experience. That's smoke. That ain't no damn experience. Turns out these kids in front of us are doing some crazy chicken jockey nonsense. And I got security on their ass. I confronted them and I went ahead and got security. Good riddance. Good riddance. I hope you learn your lesson. You 13 years old. They need to throw you in juvie for at least 3 days. We need to bring back Scare Straight. But anyway, that's scenario number 2. And then, of course, scenario number 3. Now, all of these just so happen to be acts of violence because, frankly, that's what encapsulates the ghetto mentality. It always ends up in violence. Always. It has no other ends besides violence, besides some sort of physical or verbal altercation. That's all it knows. All it knows is aggression. All it knows is hostility and confrontation. That's the stereotype, and it's a stereotype for a reason. Because I could sit here for the next 10 hours and bring up video after video displaying exactly this.
Oh, my girl counting bad. My girl fixing her own order. All right.
Wait, no. You gonna give me my shit. And I'm gonna take her cash. You got me fucked up. Around these girl. It ain't working. Got me fucked.
So there's a few different things that are going on here. The first thing that comes to mind for me is the baby. Every time I see a child, a baby, a little one, and if you're under the age of 18, you still a baby. You're a baby. When I was a kid, I used to think like, okay, 29, no. You're a child. That is a literal toddler that she has in her hands. Now, this is the thing, right? Because we inform our stereotypes, not just, out group, quote unquote, but also in group. So as much as we may be afraid to admit this, but there are plenty of quote unquote black folks who are terrified of these types of individuals. Terrified, even more so. So just imagine being that baby raised in that environment. And this is the first type of situations you're seeing your mother. This is the scenario, right? This is my assumption off of what I see. Somebody told her to wait before she could order, which is what all of us do, right? We get in line and we wait our turn. Simple. Instead of doing that, like a civilized human being, she decides to go over the counter and to start packing up her own food, stealing the food and leaving, right? With her child in hand, who is witnessing this at the earliest stages of life. And y'all think that, some people think that these kids don't know. They're not perceiving. These babies are picking everything up. Everything in their environment is getting soaked up, like one of them damn biscuits you stole. Everything. So this child is being informed as far as who we are or who these types of people are as early as 1, but definitely not 2 years old even at that. What it looks like here in the diapers, that's likely a 1-year-old, 1 and some. Watching mama go on like a damn buffoon. Look at that. Employee scared as hell in the background. I would be too. It's a wise decision. Don't even come near them. Have the police deal with them. And then this is the second part I noticed before we even get to the big baggage that's taking place with this woman, is the person who's filming is actually advocating. They're endorsing it. They're laughing. They're going along with it. And this is something I like to point out as frequently as possible is the reason why the behavior exists and it perpetuates is because there are those who support and endorse it. Likely who are engaged themselves in it. But I've even noticed that there are people who aren't that, but they will still defend it. You might not be the housewives of whatever type, but you defend it. Oh, it's just some fun. Oh, relax. You too serious. Okay. I'm too serious. because I see this and I think it's absolutely despicable. I'm too serious. You just need to loosen up. You just need to have some fun. You can't have no fun. So it's fun to be violent. It's fun to be a nuisance to society. It is fun to steal from establishments. That's fun, right? And oftentimes it is of their own kind, of their own, besides, obviously the liberals who perpetuate the same behavior, it's another ghetto ass black woman on the other side of that camera who is endorsing another ghetto ass black woman in front of the camera.
In our own order.
Order. Yeah. Why do stereotypes exist? That's the question. And the answer, today's answer at least, is because of that. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Now, if you'd like to stay around, make sure to click that little subscribe button down there, or you can show some love by going to the description below and clicking on the button titled Buy Me a Coffee. Leave a little something there, or click on the Cash App. Leave a little something here. Till the next time, peace.
I fell in love with the sunshine. I fell in love with the light. I fell in love with the full moon. I fell in love with the night. I can see the light again. I can see the light. You can see the life in him illuminate the night. I know the time is taking. A 3-6-5, that's a full rotation. I see you looking up, you know them constellations. Constantly gazing like house of praises, you get to praising.